is the best. It's personal preference.
Hey guys, it's me CriticalCubing, and today we have a magnetic comparison where we compare the GAN MoYu M versus GTS version 2M and Valk 3M. I am using the mass-produced version of the MoYu M and the GTS2M, but the Valk 3M was set up by Redfire Pratham using N35 magnets. They all have been lubed the same way and tensioned properly so that the tensions are even on all the sides. The cubes are also properly broken in so none of them are new or out of the box. Now that I have done the introduction, let's get started. Price. Price plays an important factor when deciding on a main, as lots of cubers have a set budget that they can spend on a cube. The GTS2M costs roughly $25, whereas the MoYu M is priced the highest of the bunch, coming in at about $47. The normal Valk 3 costs $20 and the Magnets Plus glue costs around $3. Valk 3M should be similar to the GTS2M, which comes at about $25. If you are on a budget, definitely stay away from the MoYu M. Size and weight. GTS2 and Valk 3 are the same size, which is 55mm. The MoYu M comes at 56mm, which makes it a bit bigger, however you don't feel the difference while solving. 55mm is good for one-handed solving as well as two-handed solving. There are differences in their weight. MoYu M weighs around 75 grams, whereas the GTS2M and Valk 3M are a bit heavier, coming in at about 85 grams. The difference in their weight isn't that much and practically negligible. MoYu M is the lightest of the bunch and as light as air. Just kidding. Feel and turning. All of these cubes have distinct feel. MoYu M has light, fast and smooth feel to it and is also the quietest cube out of the bunch. You can slow solve the MoYu M at night and no one will get disturbed by the cube sound since it is so quiet. GTS2 on the other hand is the loudest of the bunch and definitely isn't recommended for late night sessions. GTS2 also sports fast, light and crisp turning that is a mixture of scratchy plus smooth feel. Valk 3 on the other hand is similar to the GTS2, however the feel of the Valk 3 is hollow and reminiscent of the Yueshao and Mei Ying. Valk 3 is also fast and has light turning style with hollow bumpy feel to it. A well set up GTS2 is also the fastest of the bunch, which makes it uncontrollable at times. GAN MoYu M and Valk 3M have a good mixture of speed and ability to control. GTS2M can get uncontrollable at times when spamming TPS. Corner cutting of cubes is pretty standard nowadays. All of these cubes can cut over 45 degrees for normal corner cutting, and the GTS2 and Valk 3 can cut line to line for reverse corner cutting. MoYu M can cut over line to line for reverse corner cutting, giving it the upper edge in this corner cutting round. In speed solves, corner cutting of all of these cubes is practically the same, hence there are no winners for this round. Stability. The main job of magnets is to attract the layers together, thus making the cube more stable overall. Since all of these cubes are magnetic cubes, all of them boast good stability. You can put tensions on loose on all of these cubes and you still won't have problems with the cube being unstable, all thanks to magnets. However, going by the normal, non-magnetic variants of these cubes, normal GTS2 is the most unstable out of the bunch, whereas the Valk 3 is the most stable. MoYu M comes in between, as stability for MoYu M depends on how you set it up and what springs you use. Overall, stability for these cubes is a tough thing to judge because with the addition of magnets, all of these cubes are stable. M slices. M-slices being bad on magnetic cubes is common knowledge now. M-slice is being attracted by both the R and L layers, making the M-slice's attraction double than normal face turns. All of these cubes have similar M-slices, which are not too good. However, don't let this discourage you, since M-slices just need some getting used to. Lockup catches and corner twisting. Corner twisting is negligible on all of these cubes, as if you do get a corner twist, those are a rare occurrence. However, lockups and catches will depend on your turning style. GTS2 has more tendency to lock up because of its fast speed. However, since the application of magnets, these catches and lockups are minimal. Valk 3 and GAN MoYu M are similar when it comes to lockups and catches. Depending on the GES nuts and how you set up the MoYu M, you can have minimal lockups or more. However, Valk 3 is pretty stable in this regard, as I didn't have too many problems with lockups in the non-magnetic version, and I don't have any problems with the magnetic version as well. Overall, as far as lockups and catches go, Valk 3 has the least amount of lockups and catches. AirUM is setup dependent, which can give you more or less, and GTS2 has fast speed, which makes it uncontrollable at times, resulting in lockups and catches. If you can control GTS2M, you will have less amount of lockups and catches. In this round, Valk 3 comes out at the top, whereas GTS2M is the last. Lube efficiency. Lube efficiency is how quickly you relube your cube. AirUM is the worst in here, as I had to relube the AirUM quite frequently for keeping the emphasizes and face turns fast and smooth. GTS2M is the king of this round, mainly because I haven't lubed this cube in like 2 months and its performance is still great. Valk 3 is kind of in between. It performs good with little lube, so you can lube it less frequently. GTS2M is the best here, whereas AirUM is the last. Valk 3 comes in between. Overall performance. All of these cubes are the flagship of their respective companies, and they have high performance. All of these cubes are also magnetic, which gives them similar stability. And stability is usually the thing that makes or breaks a cube as main material, at least for me. The only difference are what type of turning style you prefer and how fast you want your cube to be, which sets these cubes apart. Why should you use the GTS2M? You like a fast cube on which you can spam TPS to your heart's content. On top of that, GTS2 is a low maintenance cube. You can lube it once, use it over and over, and you won't need to relube in quite a while. Plus, it has a nice crisp feel to it with a hint of smoothness, which I personally like, and emphasizes on it are good, which is a bonus for Rue method. Its only con is that it can become a bit unstable at high TPS, however magnets have counteracted this to a good extent. Overall, GTS2 is a solid choice for fast turner. Why should you use the Valk 3 as your main? You want a fast, stable, controllable and reliable cube with a pleasant feel. Valk 3 is also fast, but not as fast as GTS2M. However, the Valk 3 is also more stable than GTS2, even at high TPS. Valk 3 is also a bit more high maintenance, and I clean it up periodically, unlike the GTS2M. Emphasizes on it are also good, and overall it's a solid choice for people who want something similar to the GTS2M, however with more stability. Normal non-magnetic Valk 3 is more stable than normal GTS2, and with the addition of magnets, Valk 3M's stability has been emphasized more. Why should you use the AirUM as your main? For most Speedcubers, price is an issue when buying Speedcubes. AirUM costs over $40, which isn't something that everyone can afford. On top of that, AirUM's performance is similar to GTS2M and Valk 3M, which cost half price. AirUM is also the most high maintenance out of the bunch and requires lubing frequently for retaining that fast speed and fluid turning. However, performance of the AirUM is the most flexible out of the bunch, as different GES springs will give you different performance and feel. This isn't something available on the GTS2M and Valk 3M, and this gives the AirUM the upper hand. But this flexibility also gives rise to setup problems, as it is not easy to set up compared to the Valk 3 and GTS2. At the end of the day, if you have money to afford the AirUM, you can go for it. However, performance of it isn't better or worse than the Valk 3 and GTS2. AirUM has a fast, quiet and smooth feel, and is the smoothest cube of the bunch. If you like smooth cubes, AirUM is the cube for you. It's the flagship cube of GAN company, and you are guaranteed top-notch performance. Lots of world-class cubers also use the AirUM as their main, including Felix. However, don't listen to me. I have Kion and Kevin here giving their opinions on why they prefer the AirUM and the Valk 3M as their main.
I use the GAN 356 AirUM as my main Speedcube for theoretically because it performs consistently and reliably. I use the purple GES nuts, giving the cube a loose and fast, yet stable feeling. These allow me to turn quickly during the first 2 blocks. Most lockups that I would usually get on other cubes are minimized by the magnets. When performing CMLL algorithms, the cube allows me to turn faster than I can with other cubes. LSC turning is mostly consistent on this cube, since my loose tensions allow the turns to pass through quickly and the magnets help prevent overshooting. Once I lubed the AirUM, the feeling and sound changed from a clicky or clacky to more of a crunchy. I find the puzzle very enjoyable to solve on because of the sound and feel, as well as the great times that I can get on it. Overall, this cube is excellent and helps bring out the strengths in my solve. It is very easy to set up to your liking and in my opinion is worth the higher price tag. I would highly recommend the AirUM to anyone who is serious about 3x3 and needs a new main.
Hey, it's Kevin. So I've been using the Valk M as my main for almost half a year. Like most of the other new cubes these days, the Valk M has excellent corner cutting, and corner twists and pops are not really a problem. So for the Gans ARUM, the GTS2M, and the Valk, I think the performances of all those cubes are very similar, and it's more the feel that sets it apart. So for me, after breaking in a lot the Valk and getting used to the magnets, it has a more softer and fluid feeling when turning. It feels a little bit more heavy, and it's a little bit slower than the other cubes, which seems to be better for my more relaxed turning, slower turning in general. Even so, it's a magnetic cube. I don't really notice the clicking into place anymore, just the extra stability that the magnets provide for the cube. So overall, it keeps that very nice fluid feeling when turning, and yeah, I very much like the Valk M, especially after it's been broken in.
Thank you to Kion and Kevin for collaborating with me for this video. Hopefully, this gives you more information on these cubes and which one should be right for you. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Take care guys, and bye.